Everyone, welcome to this class on FMG clinical case-based scenarios in anesthesia. My name is Dr. Janvi. I'm the anesthesia educator on an academy, and today I have kept this session for you guys after the PYQ session at 7:30 p.m. So in the evening we had one session on previous year questions in FMG from anesthesia, and now we will be having some clinical scenarios in anesthesia. Now none of these questions have been asked in the FMG exam, but since we are moving more towards a clinical case pattern, I thought let me give you an idea of what kind of clinical questions will be asked in the exam. Okay, so first of all, welcome to Unacademy. The Plus subscription will give you access to live and recorded classes. You can learn from India's top educators. You can compete in live tests and quizzes, and you can access our question bank with 25,000 plus questions and get printed notes. The Iconic subscription is a partnership between Unacademy and PrepLadder, which will help you get the Plus subscribers, live lectures, and the PrepLadder question bank. We have a few options like raise a hand. So if you see on the right side, you have raise a hand option on the desktop. You can talk to me during the class. This is the limited time offer that we have right now. So you can see that 1 year Unacademy plus PrepLadder subscription is hardly for 38,250. And these are a few of our special class features. They are interactive. We have polls, raise a hand option, and you get lecture notes at the end of it. And we have a question bank, which is very, very useful for both FMG as well as NEET PG. It has 25,000 plus questions. And these are a few of our batches which are going on right now: Mission INI CET, Target Next 2022, and Focus FMG. So I will be starting the lectures for Focus FMG from Saturday on anesthesia, and a few offers for those who want to buy the 2-year subscription. You get 4 months free, and 1 year subscription, you get 2 months free. So whenever you buy a Plus subscription, if you use my code Dr. Janvi Live, you get extra 10% off on your subscription. All right. So let's begin with our class for today. So as I was mentioning earlier, these clinical case scenarios have not been asked in FMG, but since the exam pattern is moving more towards clinical questions, these are some kind of questions that can come in anesthesia, and they're very simple. You just need to know the trick to solve clinical case scenarios and you will do well in the exam. Okay, so just have a look at this. The first question is, Ramu is on maintenance therapy for MDR TB for tuberculosis. He is to be operated for an inguinal hernia repair. Which of these blood tests is of particular importance to the anesthetist? Renal function test, liver function test, coagulation profile, or ESR, that is your erythrocyte sedimentation rate. So I'm starting the poll for you guys. Try to think over this question and answer, and then I'll tell you how to answer it. Okay, so 38% of you have answered it correctly as liver function test. Okay, so now what are you supposed to do in this case? Now it is a simple clinical scenario. What are they asking you? That is the first thing that you should mark in this. So what are they asking you over here? They are asking, read the last line of the question first. So they are asking which of these blood tests is important to the anesthetist. So it needs to have some kind of anesthesia importance. Okay, now what are they saying is he's on maintenance therapy for tuberculosis. So tuberculosis ke liye what drugs do we give? We give AKT. AKT mein what are the important drugs? INH, rifampicin, all of these drugs. Okay, so which blood test should the anesthetist do? Now isse you should realize that INH, rifampicin, pyrazinamide, streptomycin, ethambutol, all of these can damage which organ? They can damage the liver. Okay? Anyone, can you tell me why is the liver important to the anesthetist? If the anesthetist is asked, आपको एक organ दिया जा रहा है, liver, kidney, heart, brain, एक organ choose करो, तो anesthetist will always choose the liver. Can anyone tell me why? Very good, Ashutosh. So all our anesthetic drugs, ठीक है, all our anesthetic drugs get metabolized in the liver. So if I say out of 100%, 90% of the anesthesia agent gets metabolized in the liver. So if my liver is damaged, then what will happen? Any idea? If my liver is damaged, the patient will take time to wake up from surgery. Okay? He will not, the anesthetic agents will not get metabolized. They will continue the anesthesia and the patient will take time to wake up from surgery. So I have switched off all my anesthetic agents and I'm waiting. Patient kabhi uthega, kabhi uthega. Utta hi nahi hai patient. So I have to shift him like that, intubated to the ICU. Okay. So that is why I need to make sure that my liver is fine in a patient who's taking anti-tubercular treatment. Okay. Samjha? Okay. Now, next one. Meenu is on OC pills since 10 years. She is scheduled for a hip replacement surgery. How should the OC pills be managed pre-operatively? So basically ये question में last line देख लो. Last line क्या है? How should OC pills be managed pre-operatively? So you need to know before anesthesia, before giving anesthesia, do you stop the OC pills? Do you continue the OC pills? For how long do you give SSM? ठीक है? So should you stop on the day of surgery? Should you continue perioperatively? Should you stop 4 weeks prior to surgery or should you stop post-operatively? तो ये कहाँ से आ जाएगा? ये question will come from, there is one session that I will be taking on pre-operative evaluation and anesthesia. So in that, I will give you all the drugs that people have. Like suppose they are taking cardiac medications, antihypertensives, anti-diabetics, कौन सा वाला continue करना है, कौन सा वाला stop करना है on the day of surgery. All this the anesthetist is supposed to tell. Okay. Okay, so 60% of you have answered it correctly as stop 4 weeks prior to surgery. अभी OC pills में क्या होता है ना? Can anyone tell me what is the side effect of OC pills that we are worried about? Very good, Ravi. So we are worried that it can cause clotting. Okay, OC pills cause a lot of clotting. Now you have to look at the kind of surgery. She is undergoing a hip replacement surgery. So will she be walking immediately after the hip replacement or she will remain immobilized for some period of time? इमिजिएटली पेशेंट चलने लग जाएगी, दौड़ने लग जाएगी आफ्टर हिप रिप्लेसमेंट, या थोड़ा टाइम उसको इस पे वॉकर पे पहले बेड पे रखेंगे फिर वॉकर पे स्टार्ट करेंगे. ओके, सो माय पेशेंट विल बी इमोबिलाइज्ड पोस्ट ऑपरेटिवली. So if she is going to be immobilized post operatively, then what happens? She has chances of developing DVT. Already mere OC pills can cause DVT. So chances of DVT will increase. So what will I do? I will stop my OC pills 4 weeks prior to surgery. अभी same question अगर तुमको दे कि patient is undergoing hernia surgery or say breast removal surgery for cancer. So what will you do to the OC pills? Will you continue them? Will you stop them? What will you do in that case? Patient is on hernia surgery or breast removal surgery, अगले दिन से ही चलने वाली है वो, खेलना कूदना साइकिलिंग दौड़ना सब कुछ करने वाली है पेशेंट. तो in that case will you continue or will you stop the OC pills? Very good. So in that case, when the risk of DVT is low, when the risk of deep vein thrombosis is low, then in that case you can continue the OC pills. Okay? Okay. Next question. There is a 20-year-old Primi gravida. Primi gravida means first time pregnancy. She had an epileptic attack in the morning. तो आज सुबह उसको seizure आया है. She was diagnosed to have pregnancy-induced hypertension since 2 months. What kind of anesthesia should be given for her lower segment cesarean section? Okay. Spinal anesthesia, epidural anesthesia, general anesthesia, or as she has had a seizure today, don't do her surgery today. Defer surgery as she had seizure today. ये थोड़ा difficult question है, but एक बार तुम इसके पीछे concept समझ जाओ तो you will never forget it, and this will be useful for not just FMG, for also NEET PG. Okay, so while you guys are answering, I have a few questions for you all. FMG एग्जाम के लिए तुमको सबसे डरावना सब्जेक्ट कौन सा लगता है? FMG एग्जाम के लिए कौन सा सब्जेक्ट से सबसे ज्यादा डर लगता है? रवि सिंह OBGY, कवलीन सिंह माइक्रो, फार्मा, PSM, एनाटमी, सब सब्जेक्ट्स, हाँ सब। PSM और फार्मा मेनली बिकॉज आई गेस याद नहीं रहता है इसलिए। Okay. I'm asking you this because I wanted to take some subjects to make it easier for you guys to remember it in the form of flashcards. So I was thinking of making some flashcards so that it makes it easier for you all to remember it. Okay. अभी ये question देखो. This patient, she has had pregnancy induced hypertension. ठीक है? तो उसका blood pressure तो बहुत high होगा. Plus she has had a seizure in the morning. तो जब भी प्रेगनेंसी इंड्यूस हाइपरटेंशन में पेशेंट इज हैविंग सीजर तो इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Anyone, do you know what do we call it? Not pre-eclampsia. When she's having a seizure, we call it eclampsia. Okay. Now, eclampsia का main treatment is to deliver the baby. Okay. If the baby is out, eclampsia अपने आप ठीक हो जाता है, BP अपने आप ठीक हो जाता है. तो definitely we should not postpone the surgery. We should carry out the surgery. Okay. अभी सर्जरी में भी you want to give something that will reduce your blood pressure because she has pregnancy induced hypertension. तो स्पाइनल, एपिड्यूरल और जनरल में से तुम एक चीज याद रखो, सिर्फ सिजेरियन सेक्शन के लिए वी ऑलवेज गिव स्पाइनल एनेस्थीसिया. ओके. इट विल आल्सो ब्रिंग डाउन द ब्लड प्रेशर ऑफ द पेशेंट. वेरी फ्यू टाइम्स, मे बी आउट ऑफ 100%, 1 or 2% of the times we will give general anesthesia for cesarean section, but most of the times for everything we will give spinal anesthesia. तो तुमको सिर्फ इतना याद रखना है कि every mother undergoing cesarean section will receive spinal anesthesia, not epidural, not general, spinal anesthesia. ठीक है? Okay, moving on to our next question. This is one of the most favorite questions that is asked in the exam. It has directly been asked in your FMG exam, but I have made it into a little bit of a clinical scenario and given it to you. Okay. A child is to be taken for supracondylar fracture fixation. He is on formula fed milk. After how much time can he be taken for surgery? इधर तुमको क्या पूछ रहे हैं? They are asking the fasting times of surgery, starvation period, and कितने time में you can take for surgery. So 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours or 8 hours. Sorry. Okay. So everyone knows fasting period for surgery. Now, whenever patient is coming, we will make sure that he's starving before surgery. Okay. Why? Because क्या होता है ना, during surgery, if the stomach is filled with food, then this food can go up when the patient is anesthetized, and then it can enter from the esophagus into the trachea. Okay. And the patient can get aspiration pneumonia. So for different kind of food, we have different starvation time. So you have to know all of it. This is a very important question in anesthesia for FMG students because it's a very simple, straightforward question. They have already asked it before. The name of this syndrome is called as Mendelssohn syndrome. If the patient aspirates the food, then it is called as Mendelssohn syndrome. Okay. So now tell me, I don't know if you all know, but for clear liquids, what is the starvation period? Clear liquids means you can see through this water, through and through the water. Okay, so it is a clear liquid because you can see through it. Yes, for clear liquids it is 2 hours. Then next is for breast milk. For breast milk, what is the starvation time? It is 4 hours. Okay, after that for formula fed milk, like Cerelac, for formula fed milk or for light meals like टी बिस्किट, yes it is 6 hours. And full meal अगर खाया है, full fatty meal like छोले भटूरे everything, then it is 8 hours. ठीक है? So this is how you have. So formula fed milk पिया है उसने तो you will wait for 6 hours for surgery. ठीक है? समझ में आ गया? Now if I ask you if he's had orange juice, then how much time to wait before surgery for orange juice? 4 hours? No. Okay. अच्छा, अभी is orange juice clear liquid? No. उसमें पल्प रहता है ऑरेंज का, करेक्ट? आई एम नॉट आस्किंग, ऑरेंज जूस का में पल्प रहता है, तो जो पल्पी जूस रहता है, पल्पी लिक्विड्स ऑल्सो कम्स इन 6 hours, क्योंकि उसमें थोड़ा तो सेमी सॉलिड चीज रहता है. ठीक है? ओके. अभी मुझे ये बताओ कि इफ आई गिव द चाइल्ड चपाती भाजी, हाउ मच टाइम? 8 hours. Very good. If I give the child soda, ये कौन सा soda? Yes. Soda is clear liquid, so 2 hours only. Okay, clear soda. Yes. Okay. Next one. This one. Which of these muscle relaxants is the safest to be given during a renal transplant surgery? So what will you read from this? We'll come to it. Vecuronium, scoline, atracurium, or pancuronium. So you are taking a patient for renal transplant. What kind of patients do we take for renal transplant? What are they trying to ask you in this? Very good, Ravi. So they are trying to tell you that the kidney is damaged. So the patient has chronic renal failure. So in case of renal failure, which would be the safest muscle relaxant to give? The one that would get metabolized on its own. It will not depend on the liver or kidney for metabolism. What is that? Yes, very good. It is atracurium. Okay. So atracurium does not depend on the liver or kidney. Vecuronium किस पे depend करता है? Vecuronium, yes, vecuronium gets metabolized in the liver. Pancuronium gets metabolized in the liver. Succinylcholine gets metabolized in the plasma, but by pseudocholinesterase, but it acts for a very short time. So hardly 9 to 10 minutes के लिए act करता है, तो you cannot use it for throughout the surgery. Okay. Atracurium is the only one which undergoes Hoffman's elimination. Yes, the good, if you have cis atracurium in the options, you will choose that more than atracurium, because atracurium के साथ you get some reactions like reddening, itching, all those things, hypotension because of release of mast cells. So that does not happen with cis atracurium. So your atracurium undergoes Hoffman's elimination, and this Hoffman's elimination is basically, एक बार तुम्हारा atracurium plasma में गया ना, तो अपने आप प्लाज्मा में it will break down on its own. It will not depend on the liver for metabolism. It will not depend on the kidney for metabolism. तो liver kidney damage हो तो भी drug metabolize होके body से निकल जाएगा. ठीक है? So this is one of the most important questions. I am asking you the most important questions. I am marking stars over here. एक ये था और एक ये वाला है. ठीक है? एक starvation time वाला है और एक ये atracurium. Atracurium तो हर question, हर एग्जाम में every alternate year पूछा जाता है. Which of these undergoes Hoffman's elimination? Which of these is safe to be given in liver failure? Which of these is safe to be given in renal failure? वही चीज ऐसे खानी है, उसको ऐसे 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 खा के आंसर सबका atracurium. ठीक है? Okay. Now next one. A patient is given rocuronium during intubation. The anesthetist is unable to ventilate him and wants to reverse the action of rocuronium immediately. This is the main word over here. He wants to reverse the action of rocuronium immediately. Which drug should she look for? Neostigmine, glycopyrrolate, Sugamadex, both A and B. अभी समझ में आया कैसे आएंगे थोड़े बहुत क्लिनिकल सिनेरियोज इन एनेस्थीसिया? सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, लेकिन वही जब भी ऐसे 3-4 लाइन का क्वेश्चन हो गया ना, सब नर्वस हो जाते हैं एग्जाम में. क्यों? क्योंकि पहले देखे नहीं है कुछ भी सिंपल क्वेश्चंस। सो तुम 3-4 लाइन के क्वेश्चन देखिए एकदम डर जाते हो और फिर बोलते हो अरे मैं नहीं मुझे नहीं सॉल्व करने आता, ये छोड़ दो, ये मैं छोड़ देता हूँ, ये नहीं मार्क करूंगा। बट अगर पहले ऑलरेडी क्वेश्चंस देखे तो आराम से सॉल्व हो जाते एग्जाम में। ओके, ऑलराइट। सो remember this, we have two type of muscle relaxants. Can anyone tell me the two types of muscle relaxants? What are the two groups? Very good. You have the depolarizing neuromuscular blocking agents and you have the non depolarizing ones. अभी depolarizing में कौन सा है? Succinylcholine, that is the only one that is there. Non depolarizing में we have all our ROC, VEC, ATRA, all of them. Correct? तो तुमको क्या करना है, इधर तुमको सिर्फ एक चीज याद रखनी है. Whenever you have your non-depolarizing agent, we have to give reversal. Okay, for depolarizing agent you don't have to give reversal. For non-depolarizing agent you have to give reversal agent. That is nothing but unparalyzed agent, unparalyzing agent. It will reverse the action of the drug. Okay, so this reversal agent, if I say you have to give immediately after giving the drug, so the reversal agent will be Sugamadex. Okay, but if you have to give at the end of surgery, if reversal agent has to be given at the end of surgery, then it will be Neostigmine. ठीक है, एंड ऑफ सर्जरी में देना है तो नियोस्टिग्मिन, इमीडिएटली देना है तो सुगामाडेक्स. तो इधर क्या बोला है हमने, द एनेस्थेटिस्ट इज अनेबल टू वेंटिलेट द पेशेंट एंड वांट्स टू रिवर्स द एक्शन ऑफ रॉक इमीडिएटली. सो इन दैट केस वी विल गिव सुगामाडेक्स. क्लियर? Okay. A patient with type 1 diabetes is posted for mastectomy, removal of the breast. She has uncontrolled sugars and the anesthetist wants to give her long-acting insulin on the day of surgery. How much of the original dose should be given in the morning? Half dose, 1/3 dose, 1/4 dose, or 1/10 dose? ओके, तो ये क्वेश्चन काफी लोगों को डिफिकल्ट लगा है. इफ यू हैव स्टडीड एनेस्थीसिया बिफोर यू विल से मैम ये क्वेश्चन ही गलत है. क्यों? पेशेंट इज डायबिटिक, ठीक है, अभी ऑन द डे ऑफ सर्जरी यू आर स्टार्विंग द पेशेंट, तो आइडियली शुड यू बी गिविंग OHAs इंसुलिन और नॉट? बराबर. अभी अगर पेशेंट इज स्टार्विंग, ऑलरेडी शुगर्स विल बी लो, उसके ऊपर से इफ यू गिव OHAs और इंसुलिन, शुगर विल फॉल मोर. सो व्हाट विल हैपन टू द पेशेंट? पेशेंट विल गो इनटू हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया. ठीक है, तो एक्चुअली क्या होता है, यू डू नॉट गिव OHAs और इंसुलिन. We do not give OHAs or insulin at all to the patient. Okay, but in your question sometimes they specifically mentioned that the patient has uncontrolled sugars. तो वेल कंट्रोल्ड शुगर में तो कुछ नहीं करना है, यू विल जस्ट अवॉइड OHAs एंड इंसुलिन. इधर मैं लिख देती हूँ, वेल कंट्रोल्ड में ओमिट OHAs और इंसुलिन ऑन द डे ऑफ सर्जरी. ठीक है, लेकिन when your patient comes with uncontrolled sugars, मतलब उसका शुगर है 200, 300, 400, अभी उनमें we cannot avoid OHAs or insulin. Why? If you avoid OHAs or insulin in them, because their sugar will go up even higher, and जितना high sugar होता जाए ना उतना more chance of the wound getting infected. So we will give little insulin to them. So what is little insulin? You will give half of the dose. ठीक है, patient is already fasting, already sugar is low, तो don't give full dose of insulin, give half of the dose. ठीक है, अभी इसमें भी तुमको याद रखना है, if the patient is a type 1 diabetic you will give half of the dose. If the patient is a type 2 diabetic you will give 1/3 of the dose. ये याद रखोगे मेरे लिए तीन चीजें. अगर वेल कंट्रोल्ड डायबिटिक है you will omit the OHAs and insulin. अगर टाइप 1 डायबिटिक अगर अनकंट्रोल्ड है, अनकंट्रोल में टाइप 1 डायबिटिक में यू गिव हाफ द डोज एंड टाइप 2 डायबिटिक में यू गिव 1/3 द डोज. ठीक है, बस इतना याद रखो एग्जाम के लिए. Alright, next one. A patient on antipsychotic agents is undergoing a muscle biopsy. She is given Entonox for pain relief. What is Entonox? कोई बता सकते हैं what is Entonox? Entonox क्या है? Yes, Entonox is 50% of the gas will be oxygen, 50% of the gas will be nitrous oxide. ठीक है? She starts showing classical signs of hyperthermia, hypercarbia, cola-colored urine. Identify the disease. Febrile reaction to Entonox, neuroleptic malignant syndrome, malignant hyperthermia, or Gutman's syndrome. बताओ भी इसका आंसर क्या है? I am sure most of you will mark the wrong answer. मुझे ये देखना है कितने लोग सही आंसर देंगे. Okay, so Dr. Bruin, the good Ashwin, Shubhanai, Asna. Okay, all of you can clap for yourself because very good answer you guys have given. अभी इसमें क्या हो रहा है? Yes, the answer is in the first line itself. Patient is on antipsychotic agents. ठीक है? अभी many of you all have written malignant hyperthermia. I am not saying that these are not malignant hyperthermia signs. हाइपरथर्मिया, हाइपरकार्बिया, कोला कलर्ड यूरिन, ये सब तो होता ही है. मसल रिजिडिटी, मसल स्पैज्म, ये सब मैलिग्नेंट हाइपरथर्मिया में होता है. बट कैन यू गाइस टेल मी कि मैलिग्नेंट हाइपरथर्मिया इज ड्यू टू व्हाट एजेंट्स? द ट्रिगरिंग एजेंट्स फॉर मैलिग्नेंट हाइपरथर्मिया इज व्हाट? सक्सेनाइलकोलिन, वेरी गुड, एंड ऑल योर इनहेलेशनल एजेंट्स, सीवो, आइसो, डेज, ऑल ऑफ देम, हैलोथेन, ऑल ऑफ देम. ठीक है, अभी हमने पेशेंट को ये दोनों में से कुछ दिया है क्या? यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन में देखोगे तो हमने एंटोनॉक्स दिया. एंटोनॉक्स इज जस्ट ऑक्सीजन एंड नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड, तो वी हैव नॉट गिवन दैट, तो डेफिनेटली मैलिग्नेंट हाइपोथर्मिया तो नहीं है. फेब्राइल रिएक्शन टू एंटोनॉक्स, ये क्या होता है? फेब्राइल रिएक्शन मतलब पेशेंट को एंटोनॉक्स देके फीवर हो गया. फीवर के साथ साथ ये सब नहीं एक्सप्लेन हो रहा. हाइपरकार्बिया, कोला कलर्ड यूरिन, ये तो नहीं हो सकता, ये भी नहीं है. अभी ऑप्शन सिर्फ दो है, ये और ये, गटमैन सिंड्रोम, न्यूरोलेप्टिक मैलिग्नेंट सिंड्रोम. सपोज तुमको गटमैन सिंड्रोम क्या है पता ही नहीं, बट एटलीस्ट ये तो पता होगा न्यूरोलेप्टिक मैलिग्नेंट सिंड्रोम, न्यूरोलेप्टिक ड्रग्स आर योर एंटी सेरोटोनर्जिक ड्रग. Okay, so all your antipsychotic agents, when you give them, the patient can have a reaction similar to malignant hyperthermia. ठीक है, तो ये न्यूरोलेप्टिक मैलिग्नेंट सिंड्रोम और मैलिग्नेंट हाइपोथर्मिया दोनों के साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स सेम होते हैं. मसल रिजिडिटी, कोला कलर्ड यूरिन, हाइपरथर्मिया, हाइपरकार्बिया सेम रहता है. बट तुमको क्वेश्चन में सिर्फ ये देखना है कि ट्रिगरिंग एजेंट क्या दिया है. तो अगर ट्रिगरिंग एजेंट स्कोलिन या इनहेलेशनल एजेंट दिया है, यू मार्क इट एज मैलिग्नेंट हाइपोथर्मिया. अगर ट्रिगरिंग एजेंट दिया है एंटीसाइकोटिक्स, तो यू विल मार्क इट एज न्यूरोलेप्टिक मैलिग्नेंट सिंड्रोम. ठीक है, Gutman syndrome is one of the syndromes in striate ganglion block. You don't need to know about it. It's way beyond your syllabus. Okay. All right. Next question. Very nice practical question from the exam. It can totally come for your exam. So while attempting a central line insertion, you're putting the central line in the IJV. The anesthesia resident leaves the guide wire in the IJV and the guide wire gets lost into the circulation. What should she do? अभी तुम सब मुझे ये बताओ पहले कि गाइड वायर कभी तुम लोग ने सेंट्रल लाइन डाला है या देखा है सेंट्रल लाइन डलते हुए? Anyone has seen central line insertion? देखा है? Okay. ओके, तो सेंट्रल लाइन डालने के टाइम क्या होता है ना, फर्स्ट आई विल टेल यू द स्टेप्स, देन यू कैन आंसर. आई स्टार्ट होल. द फर्स्ट थिंग यू डू इज, सपोज ये पेशेंट का नेक है, शोल्डर है, मेरा ड्राइंग हॉरिबल है, ये उसका कैरोटिड है, कैरोटिड के बाजू में यू हैव द आईजेवी. ठीक है, तो हम सेंट्रल लाइन ये आईजेवी में डालते हैं। तो ये सेंट्रल लाइन डालने के टाइम पहले वी पुट वन नीडल into the IJV, we aspirate the blood. Once the blood, venous blood comes out, then we know we are in the vein. Okay, so once you are in the vein, ये vein ऐसे जा रही है, what do? You put one guide wire. You put one guide wire. One wire you put into the vein. Then you remove the needle. Then that guide wire is in the vein. On top of the guide wire, you will pass the catheter. Okay, the catheter will stay inside the vein for a long period of time. तो वो गाइड वायर के ऊपर, ये अगर गाइड वायर है तो उसके ऊपर ऐसे तुम कैथेटर डाल दो, ठीक है। वंस द कैथेटर इज इनसाइड, यू रिमूव द गाइड वायर and you just fix the catheter over here at the level of the neck so that it does not go in and it does not come out, ठीक है। समझ में आ गया? पहले needle लेके find the vein, once the blood comes then put the guide wire inside, एक बार गाइड वायर वेन में चली गई तो ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट पुट द सेंट्रल लाइन, ठीक है, एंड रिमूव द गाइड वायर। सो आइडियली यू आर सपोज टू रिमूव द गाइड वायर। अभी ये एनेस्थीसिया रेजिडेंट ने क्या कर दिया, शी जस्ट लेफ्ट द गाइड वायर इनसाइड। So the guide wire entered from the IJV into the superior vena cava into the heart. Now the guide wire has gone into the heart and from here it can go anywhere. So what are you supposed to do? Explain to the patient कि ऐसा हो गया है and report to the hospital if any arrhythmias. अभी ये guide wire जो है it will hit this wall, it will hit this wall, it will hit the AV node, ये सब जगह hit करके it can cause arrhythmias. Okay. Explain to patient get MRI done to locate the wire. Refer to interventional radiology or nothing to be done. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a session on ECG basics for FMG students on Friday 8 p.m. So make sure to tune in. It's a live free session on YouTube. I will be sharing the link of it on my Telegram and you guys can join in from there. So it will be very helpful for you guys. No. So the answer is you will refer them to interventional radiology. अभी एक चीज तो मैंने तुमको बताया, ये गाइड वायर when you're putting it, this guide wire can irritate the walls of the heart and cause arrhythmias. Because of these arrhythmias, patient can even die. He can get a cardiac arrest and die. So you have to remove the guide wire immediately. Okay. So to remove it, we will send them to interventional radiology. Have you heard of interventional radiology? Interventional radiology, basically they are radiologists. They take continuous x-rays and they remove anything that is there in the circulation. तो ऐसे femoral artery में they put one instruments, उधर से they go into all the different arteries and they can remove anything from different arteries. They can put any kind of drugs or thrombus or plugs in them. Okay, so that is interventional radiology. Okay, they do everything under X-ray guidance or CT guidance. All right. Now another super important one, and this we have done difficult airway guidelines based. Usha is unable to intubate or insert LMA in a patient posted for emergency laparotomy despite several attempts. There is severe bronchospasm due to airway trauma and no chest rise or EtCO2 on mask ventilation. What should be the next step? So what all has she tried to do? Usha has tried to intubate many times, several times. Usha has tried to put an LMA several times and Usha has tried to mask ventilate several times. ये सब में कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है, patient is desaturating. क्या करना है जल्दी बताओ? Intubation by senior, LMA insertion by senior, continue attempts at mask ventilation or cricothyroidotomy. Shubhangi, even if CT was in the option, you would not mark that. You have to send them to interventional radiology and get the guide wire removed. Okay, I think most of you all know difficult airway guidelines. मतलब मेरा class attend किया है ना? Okay, so whenever you have, yes, Ravi, of course I will revise it. So these are your difficult airway guidelines. There is nothing like cricothyroidectomy. It is cricothyroidotomy. Okay, so difficult airway guidelines में the first thing it says is try to intubate, and you can take maximum of 4 attempts at intubation. If intubation is not happening, put a LMA. Okay, LMA के लिए maximum 3 attempts. अगर LMA भी नहीं जा रहा, just mask ventilate, mask लो, bag लो and ventilate. Okay, if mask ventilation is also not happening, then next step to go for is cricothyroidotomy. Cricothyroidotomy में क्या करते हैं? Just feel over here in the front of your neck for the most prominent part. That is your thyroid cartilage. Okay, thyroid cartilage के नीचे फिंगर करो, एक डिप लगेगा. डिप के नीचे फिंगर करो, एक C shape cartilage feel होगा. That is your cricoid. Okay, so your thyroid, then dip, then cricoid. जो डिप होता है उसमें यू डायरेक्टली पुट वन बिग आईवी कैन्युला. तो डिप में आईवी कैन्युला डालो, रिमूव द स्टिलेट एंड देन पुश 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 करके गिव ऑक्सीजन टू द पेशेंट फ्रॉम आउटसाइड. सो दैट इज योर cricothyroidotomy. Between the cricoid and the thyroid you are making one puncture and you are ventilating the patient. Clear? समझ में आया? This is your cricothyroidotomy and this is your difficult airway guidelines. First try to intubate, 4 attempts, not happening, leave it. Next try to put LMA, 3 attempts, not happening, leave it. Next try to mask ventilate, और mask ventilate भी नहीं हुआ तो cricothyroidotomy, या फिर you can also do a tracheostomy. Okay, tracheostomy अगर सर्जन है या तुमको आता है करने तो कर लो. ठीक है? Okay, now next question. A 24-year-old female comes with acute abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting since 3 hours. Her skin turgor is lost, eyes are sunken, tongue is dry. What is the resuscitation fluid of choice? Isotonic saline, ringer lactate, 5% dextrose or colloid. Little bit about fluids, very important. Fluids बहुत लोग सिखाते नहीं है और एग्जाम में आ जाता है. Okay, how many of you all have given any of these fluids? कितने लोगों ने फ्लूइड यूज किया है इसमें से? कुछ सलाइन, लैक्टेट, 5% डेक्सट्रोज, कोलॉइड, कुछ भी नहीं यूज किया है. ओके, दो तो तुमने यूज किया होगा, या फिर सलाइन या फिर रिंगर लैक्टेट, है ना? आरएल या सलाइन देते ही है हर एक हॉस्पिटल में. ओके, तो दीज आर 2 मेन फ्लूइड्स दैट आर अवेलेबल. बाकी सब भूल जाओ, इट्स नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर योर. तो इधर क्या बोल रहे हैं ये लोग? स्किन टर्गर इज लॉस्ट, आईज आर संकन, टंग इज ड्राई एंड पेशेंट इज हैविंग वॉमिटिंग. तो क्या हो रहा है? मतलब पेशेंट का क्या सिचुएशन है? शी इज डिहाइड्रेटेड. बराबर, all of these things are saying she is dehydrated. So now you need to hydrate the patient. So whenever you want to hydrate the patient, will you give some fluid that is very similar to plasma? Barabar, to hydrate the patient you give something which is very similar to plasma. So what is the most similar to plasma? Your ringer lactate. Okay, your ringer lactate and plasma almost have the same osmolarity of around 270 milliosmoles. Okay, so अगर तुम्हें एग्जाम में कभी भी पूछा कि for patient having diarrhea, for patient having vomiting, for patient in trauma, blood loss हुआ है, acute resuscitation करना है, always the resuscitation fluid of choice will be ringer lactate. Yes, diabetic ketoacidosis may also it will be ringer lactate, because ringer lactate is the closest to plasma in form of its osmolarity and composition. Okay, isotonic saline is preferred when the patient comes with hyponatremia, low sodium levels. Then you will prefer to resuscitate with hypotonic saline. Okay, now ये वाला थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है, बट आई वांट टू सी हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू ऑल नो एबीजी. नहीं तो मुझे एक क्लास एबीजी पे लेना पड़ेगा. एक्चुअली मैंने काफी क्लासेस लिए एबीजी पे, यू ऑल कैन गो एंड वॉच देम, बट जस्ट देखते हैं कितने लोगों को एबीजी आता है. ओके, तो ये पेशेंट का आर्टीरियल ब्लड गैस है. pH of 7.2, PO2 80, PCO2 35, bicarb 15, sodium 131, chloride 100. So can anyone tell me what kind of ABG is this? Respiratory acidosis, metabolic acidosis with high anion gap, metabolic alkalosis with high anion gap या metabolic acidosis with low anion gap. बताओ कितने लोगों को एबीजी आता है, कितने लोगों को नहीं आता है? काफी लोगों को आता है यार, काफी लोग बराबर आंसर कर रहे हैं. लिटिल ओके, लिटिल भी आता है तो यू कैन आंसर इट. ओके, तो तुम्हारे एबीजी में सबसे पहले बताओ व्हाट इज द नॉर्मल पीएच ऑफ ब्लड. नॉर्मल पीएच वी टेक इट एज 7.35. ठीक है, अगर 7.35 से कम हुआ तो वी विल से इट इज एसिडोसिस. अगर 7.35 से पीएच ज्यादा हुआ तो वी विल से इट इज अल्कलोसिस. बराबर, इतना बराबर है. तो अभी ये 7.21 एसिडोसिस है या अल्कलोसिस है? इट इज एसिडोसिस. बराबर, तो यहाँ पे हमारे दो ऑप्शन तो इधर चले गए, एक ऑप्शन चला गया मेटाबॉलिक अल्कलोसिस. अल्कलोसिस नहीं, इट इज एसिडोसिस. नेक्स्ट तुमको देखना है कि वेदर इट इज रेस्पिरेटरी एसिडोसिस और इट इज मेटाबॉलिक एसिडोसिस. तो रेस्पिरेटरी एसिडोसिस के लिए हम कौन सा चीज देखेंगे? इन आउट ऑफ ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स गो गिवन ओवर हियर, गैस कौन सा है यहाँ पे? रेस्पिरेटरी क्या है? यस, रेस्पिरेटरी है PCO2. बराबर, so for respiratory acidosis you will look at PCO2. For metabolic acidosis you will look at what value? You will look at the bicarb. बराबर. Now your normal PCO2 is between 35 to 45. तो यहाँ पे तुम्हारा PCO2 तो नॉर्मल है, तो दिस कैनॉट बी अ रेस्पिरेटरी एसिडोसिस. एंड योर नॉर्मल बाइकार्ब कितना होता है? नॉर्मल बाइकार्ब 22 to 26 मिली इक्विवेलेंट्स. बराबर, तो हमारा बाइकार्ब कितना है इधर? बाइकार्ब इज 15. तो ये तो बहुत कम हो गया, तो मतलब प्रॉब्लम इज मेटाबॉलिक ओनली. इतना समझ में आया तुम लोग को? एसिडोसिस है बिकॉज पीएच इज लेस देन 7.35. मेटाबॉलिक है बिकॉज बाइकार्ब इज अफेक्टेड ओवर हियर. एज यू कैन सी बाइकार्ब इज जस्ट 15. ओके, so this is metabolic acidosis. So now this option is also gone. So B or D में से is it having high anion gap or low anion gap? How do you calculate anion gap? What is the normal anion gap? So anion gap के लिए you have to add all the positive ions and remove all the negative ions from it. ठीक है, ये जो पॉजिटिव वाले है सब साथ में ले लो, जो नेगेटिव वाले है सब साथ में ले लो. तो इसमें कितना है? सोडियम प्लस पोटेशियम. पोटेशियम इधर दिया नहीं है तो उसको छोड़ दो. Why? Because potassium is normally between 3 to 5. ऐसे इतना छोटा वैल्यू होता है ना, it does not make a difference. So सोडियम कितना है इधर? 131. क्लोराइड कितना है इधर? क्लोराइड इज 100. बाइकार्ब कितना है? 15. So you have to do 131 minus chloride 100 plus 15. बराबर, so it is 131 minus 115, so it is 16. How much is your normal anion gap? Anyone? Normal anion gap? Yes, your normal anion gap is 12, less than 12. So this will be your high anion gap. It is increased. So this is your answer. तो काफी ट्रिकी है टू गेट दिस आंसर, बट एक बार तुमको एबीजी समझ में आ गया तो लाइफ में कभी नहीं भूलोगे. एंड तुम्हारे जो नीट पीजी एग्जाम है उसमें तो काफी एबीजी आएंगे. ठीक है, तो अगर तुम एफएमजी के लिए पढ़ लो तो नीट पीजी में भी काम आ जाएगा. सो यू कैन डू दैट सिंपल क्वेश्चन दैट आई टॉट यू अबाउट एबीजी. वन सेशन इज देयर, इट इज अ 1 hour सेशन. यू कैन वॉच इट एंड लर्न एबीजी वेरी वेल. ओके, नेक्स्ट, एंड दिस इज द लास्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर टुडे. A patient is extubated in a light plane of anesthesia. Extubation मतलब ट्यूब निकालना. In a light plane of anesthesia means patient is not completely under anesthesia and he is not completely awake. Somewhere बीच में almost बाहर आ रहा है anesthesia से, तभी तुम ट्यूब निकाल दो. Suddenly he starts desaturating and bilaterally when you auscultate you cannot hear any air entry. What is the drug of choice in this situation? Scoline, atropine, ephedrine or atracurium? Okay, can anyone identify कि इसमें हो क्या रहा है in this situation? Anyone, any idea? Okay, good. It is laryngospasm. Very good, Ravi. Okay. Now, what happens when you irritate the airway in a light plane of anesthesia? Light plane of anesthesia means patient is not fully awake. At that time, your reflexes are just coming back, especially your airway reflexes. तो अगर तुम airway को irritate करो at this point in time, तो क्या होगा? These are your vocal cords. Vocal cords के नीचे you have trachea. Trachea divides into bronchus. Two things can happen over here. Either these bronchi become narrow, they contract, and there is a situation. What is the situation called? This is called as bronchospasm. ठीक है? So bronchospasm में क्या हो रहा है? Your trachea which are of full proper length and breadth, इधर से air easily जाता है. But when they go into spasm, the smooth muscle in them contracts, makes the bronchi narrow. तो यहाँ से air को जाने को problem होती है. This is called as bronchospasm. How will you identify bronchospasm? Patient will have a wheeze. कभी सुना है तुमने wheeze? एस्थमेटिक पेशेंट्स को ब्रोंकोस्पाज्म होता है तभी ऐसे आवाज आती है. ओके, व्हेन यू ऑस्कल्टेट तो वैसे आवाज आएगी. सो दैट इज बिकॉज द एयर इज फाइंडिंग इट डिफिकल्ट टू कम आउट ऑफ दिस नैरोड ब्रोंकाई बिकॉज देयर इज ब्रोंकोस्पाज्म. ठीक है, तो अगर क्वेश्चन में वीज आ गया ना तो दैट इज ब्रोंकोस्पाज्म. सेकेंड थिंग दैट हैपेंस इज लैरिंगोस्पाज्म. लैरिंगोस्पाज्म हैपेंस एट द लेवल ऑफ द वोकल कॉर्ड्स. ये जो वोकल कॉर्ड्स है ना ये पूरे बंद हो जाते हैं. They contract and they just shut like this. ऐसा था, they just shut like this. तो क्या होगा? To the air down, tell me. यहाँ से जो air बाहर आ रहा था, ये बाहर आ पाएगा या नहीं? नहीं जा सकता है बाहर. And यहाँ बाहर से air अंदर नहीं जा सकता है because the vocal cords have shut. So क्या होगा to your air entry? Your air entry will go away. Bilaterally there will be no air entry. Okay, so air cannot enter inside because ये vocal cords ही shut हो गए. तो अगर तुमको wheeze आ रहा है, that means there is bronchospasm. But अगर तुमको no air entry है bilaterally, then that is your laryngospasm. Okay, so what has happened in this situation? Patient is desaturating because no air is able to come inside. And there is no the absent air entry bilaterally. ठीक है? So there is a laryngospasm. And what is the drug of choice in laryngospasm? अभी ये muscle contract हुआ है. You want to break the muscle spasm, so you just give a muscle relaxant. So what is the muscle relaxant over here? Succinylcholine. Okay, so you treat this by giving succinylcholine. Okay, atracurium also you can give, but succinylcholine is the fastest acting muscle relaxant, and it also acts for a very short period of time. You don't want to give atracurium, which will take time to act, and plus it will remain in the body for 45 minutes. So tab tak your patient will be paralyzed. But succinylcholine will act immediately and it will stay in the body only for 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, your patient will also be awake, okay, and unparalyzed. So that's why we prefer succinylcholine. ठीक है? तो समझ में आ गया? So these are some examples of clinical case scenarios that can be asked in anesthesia. So just to orient your mind, अभी simple चीजें हैं, they will just twist and turn and ask it. Now I'll be discussing the theory part of anesthesia with you guys, how to apply it in the exam, clinical questions, all of that on the Focus FMG course, which starts on this Saturday. I will be taking anesthesia. So if you guys would like to join me there, you can use my code Dr. Janvi Live and get a 10% off on your Plus subscription. So I hope this class was useful to you and I will see you guys next time. Till then, take care. Yeah. The Plus course starts on 25th and on 24th, that is Friday at 8 p.m. I will be taking a course for how to diagnose easy ECG for you guys. Okay, basics of ECG for FMG students. All right, till then, take care and see you next time, guys. Bye bye.